A common mistake that test takers make is to write sentences that are either way too long or way too short. Now you might be rightfully thinking, if the sentence is grammatically correct, what difference does it make how long it is? Actually, it makes a pretty big difference in terms of readability, and in this video, I'm going to show you why. If all your sentences are quite short, then it will make your response seem more abrupt, negatively affecting its readability. On the other hand, if all your sentences are really long, then that increases the chances of the reader getting lost and misunderstanding what you're trying to say. Here are a couple examples to show you what I mean. June doesn't like most outdoor activities. He doesn't like camping. He doesn't like hiking. He does like going to the beach. Simone also likes going to the beach. Do you see how choppy that is? If you find yourself writing a lot of short, simple sentences like this, try to combine them into longer ones by adding some transitions. You can learn more about these in our transitions video. Combining these sentences will make for a much smoother reading experience. It will also show the raters that you have the grammatical knowledge to combine ideas using appropriate transitional words and phrases. How could you combine these 5 short sentences into one? I'll give you, say, 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. Here's my new sentence combining all 5. June doesn't like most outdoor activities, such as camping and hiking. However, like Simone, he does like going to the beach. It's okay if your version is a bit different. It may also be correct. There are lots of ways to combine sentences. Here, I've used punctuation, like this semicolon, and the transition however, as well as the preposition like. This is now a compound sentence, since it includes multiple shorter sentences. So we've combined a number of short sentences, but what about sentences that are too long? What do we do then? Well, look here. Even though too many short sentences can be a problem, really long sentences are also something you should avoid, because if a sentence is too long, it's easy for your reader to lose track of what you are talking about. And if your sentences are several lines long, you should look for ways to divide them into shorter ones. Let's look more closely at what I just said. Was that sentence hard to follow? It would definitely be better if I divided it into a few shorter sentences. But how would you do this? I'll give you another 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. Here's what I would do. Even though too many short sentences can be a problem, really long sentences are also something you should avoid. If a sentence is too long, it's easy for your reader to lose track of what you are talking about. If your sentences are several lines long, you should look for ways to divide them into shorter ones. As you can see, this text is now made up of 3 easy-to-read, medium-sized sentences, instead of one confusingly long one. And even if your response is a bit different than mine, it may still be correct. There are plenty of ways to correctly split up overly long sentences. Okay, so all the sentences we've discussed so far have been grammatically correct, even if they were a bit too short or too long. But how about something like this? Is there anything to fix in this example? Try and remember to wear rain gear tomorrow, because it's supposed to rain quite hard. So if I were simply saying this out loud, it might sound alright. But when you see it in writing, it's incorrect, because that second sentence isn't complete. We call this a fragment. A fragment is a piece of something larger, and in this case, this sentence fragment is really a part of the sentence before it. It completes the main idea in that sentence, but it doesn't make much sense by itself. To fix it, we should simply combine it with the first sentence like this. There, now we've got one complete sentence. Try and remember to wear rain gear tomorrow because it's supposed to rain quite hard. This is called a complex sentence because I've connected a fragment to a complete sentence. And here's an opposite example where the sentence is far too long and grammatically incorrect. Fatima was in the checkout line at the grocery store. When she realized she had forgotten her wallet at home, she decided to quickly run home and get it. So unlike the really long sentence we looked at earlier in this video, this sentence is both too long and it's grammatically incorrect. We call this a run-on. Run-on sentences have too much information. They usually contain multiple simple sentences which are linked without the correct punctuation or conjunction. We've definitely got to fix this. But how would you do it? I'll give you another 10 seconds starting now. Okay, time's up. What did you do? There are a few different methods, but the easiest way is by doing this. Fatima was in the checkout line at the grocery store when she realized she had forgotten her wallet at home. She decided to quickly run home and get it. So in this case, I've decided to add a period right here, splitting the text into two full sentences. We've covered a number of different sentence types in this video, so this is probably a good point to do some review. In short, you should try not to write too many short, simple sentences, especially if they are close together. Instead, try to link them into longer sentences. On the other hand, try not to write overly long sentences, especially if they're several lines long, because this could really confuse the reader. Instead, try to split these into slightly shorter sentences. You should avoid fragments, that is, incomplete sentences, by completing them on their own or connecting them to other sentences. Also avoid run-on sentences, that is to say, avoid really long sentences without the correct punctuation or conjunction between ideas. You can fix this by punctuating them correctly or simply dividing them into shorter sentences. Bottom line here is that by using a good variety of sentence types in your writing, neither too short nor too long, your response will be much more readable and you may improve your achievement on the writing test.